All right, welcome Team Life Changers to our Thursday night team call. We are so excited to have a guest on our call tonight. Daniel, okay, pronounce your last name.
Pena.
Pena, okay. Daniel Pena, so thankful. He is now in the Beachbody Challenge on his way to winning the $100,000 because we know you're going to win. You know, so we are excited. Melinda Nanini had brought him to our call, and just so excited that he is on. He's lost, to my knowledge, from the last that I've read, unless something's changed, 180 pounds. So super excited, and without further ado, I'm going to mute my mic and let Daniel take the floor.
Great. Thank you for that, Rebecca. Yeah. Hey, everybody. So this is Daniel. Yeah, I am a finalist in the Beachbody $100,000 challenge. And I started my fitness journey, at least the one I'm on now, and the one that I'm sticking to, the one that I, am on and will continue to be on 4 years ago, actually this month. So it's in 2013, so where I started with a weight of over 350 pounds. And I don't know if you guys have seen my picture before and after or not, but it's definitely, when you see that, there's a whole lot of doing in that picture. I got a stain on my shirt and stuff. It just screams everything about 350 pounds, in that picture. I wasn't always like this, right? I mean, I wasn't always 350 pounds. I was a high school athlete. I went to the Army straight out of high school. I mean, I was in very good shape. In my early 20s, my wife and I were expecting the birth of our oldest daughter, and just started stress eating. We were young, newly married, having a baby in our early 20s, and just stressing, making sure, how can we do, it's early 90s, it's early 1990s, and how can we, can we do this, and what are we doing? And before you know it, I mean, I'm just gaining weight year over year. I wasn't active anymore, and just started gaining weight, and it got to the point where I stopped going to physicals, as I got my later 20s, early 30s, my physicals got further and further apart, like 5-6 years, because they weigh you when you go to your physicals, right? Like, I never weighed myself. I knew I was fat. I knew I was getting obese. I didn't want to know how bad it was, right? Like, if I didn't know, it wasn't that bad. But I knew it because my clothes would stop fitting, and I'd have to go out and buy bigger clothes, right? And then they would be okay, and then they would start getting tighter and tighter, and then I got to go out and buy out bigger clothes. And so I had a garage full of bags of clothes, because one day I'm gonna fit them again, or going to give them away, somebody who could use them, type of thing. But we had a lot of those clothes in our garage, and it started getting bigger and bigger. And it's not like I didn't try to lose weight, over those 2 decades. I tried Atkins and some of the diet. For those of you old enough, I don't know if you ever heard of FinFin or remember FinFin. It was a prescription drug from your doctors. It suppressed your appetite. That worked. I lost about 60 pounds, and they pulled it off the market because people were dying. I was actually upset they pulled it. Believe that. Like, I was okay to roll the dice because it was working. But came off of that and gained the weight back, and then just kept going, climbing up to 350. But tried all that, and I would self-sabotage during those times. What I mean by self-sabotage is I'd be on a decent diet or really trying to make it work, and maybe lose 5-10 pounds, and I'd be that person that would say, hey, I'm doing good. I deserve to treat myself, right? I deserve a cheat meal. And then you have a cheat meal, and the cheat meal turns into cheat meals, right? Plural, and then a cheat weekend. And then before you know it, you're off the wagon, right? And I tried working out. I was a New Year's resolutioner most of the time. January, be in the gym, and that would go pretty quick. Either February or March, sometimes January. But I couldn't even get out January sometimes before I just quit on it. And so, and my wife, God bless her, she tried over those years to, try to get me to lose weight by lovingly nudging me to do it, to just being a flat out bitch about it, because she was just had her wits end. She didn't know what to do with me anymore. She was going crazy. But she just didn't want me to die of a heart attack. She was just so frustrated with me of not taking charge of my own fitness and my health, in my life. Yeah, she didn't know what to do with me, and so, so it started with the birth of our oldest, right, us being pregnant with our oldest, to what really woke me up was my youngest graduating high school in 2013. So she graduated this month in 2013, and the months leading up to that is when it hit me that, you know, our oldest was away at college, our youngest was going to graduate, and I'm thinking, wow, our baby's going to graduate, she's going to go to college, and then, like, what if she meets that special somebody, significant other, going to maybe get married, maybe have kids, right? And maybe I'm not around for it, right? Maybe I have a heart attack or something. You know, it scared me that I wouldn't be able to see them, you know, grow into young, mature women. And, you know, and they go to meet that somebody, say, hey, I want to meet your parents. Oh, you can meet my mom. Well, my dad died a few years ago because he didn't have any self-control. You know, so it really scared me. So I told my wife, hey, you know, when she graduates, we're gonna start, you know, I'm gonna start working out. And my wife's like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know, because again, I was, you know, the January, you know, New Year's resolution person that would start working out, whatever, right? So I had to get to the point where I just had to go and just show her, right? Show her, show me, show everybody, right? It's not like on Facebook, hey, everybody, I'm gonna go work out again. You know, it was like, you know what? I just got to go do it. That's it. Just got to go show everybody. So here in Southern California, we have beautiful trails, right? Trails that you can go back, don't even know there's any other world, right? No cars, you can't hear anything, no, you know, nothing around you. And so there's a trail about 5 minutes from us across town, and it goes up for about 2 miles, like this. So we started hiking this in June of 2013. Now it's Southern California, it's summer, 85, 90 degrees. I'm 350 plus pounds. And I didn't realize how short of a distance a quarter mile is until I started to walk this hill at 350 plus pounds. I could still see my car parked on the street. Like, we haven't gotten far enough back in where you can't see anything. I could I could still see my car. I could turn around and be back in my car in half an hour, right? You know, my heart felt like it was going to beat out of my chest. My wife just keeps walking. I couldn't even catch her. I was so upset. I wanted to just grab her, you know, but I couldn't catch her, you know, because I was so out of shape, you know. And progressively, we got further and further with that hiking, you know, and got better, of course. And then shortly after, I had started P90X. I don't know if anybody's done P90X. It's you know, it's a tough one. You know, it's most of the workouts are about 50 minutes. The yoga is like an hour and a half, but minus that, they're about 50 minutes. And for the most part, they're okay. The arms and the shoulders and stuff like that. I had the resistance bands. I'm sore. It's working. And there's like plyometrics and some other things where you're really jumping around. And at 350 pounds, I'm not jumping anywhere, right? And so those 50-minute workouts turn out to be an hour and a half, hour 40. You know, I'm pausing it. I'm sitting on the couch cursing at Tony, you know, you and your corny jokes, you know, and then I press play again and start up again, and I get tired again. So, I mean, you know, a 50-minute workout took me, you know, a long time. But I did all the workouts. I didn't quit. I didn't, you know, I modified like crazy. I stopped and started, but I did it. And I lost 27 pounds in that first 90 days. So I'm thinking, I'm feeling good. Like, this is working, you know. And I was still eating, not really bad. I mean, not bad, but super bad. But I mean, I was still eating. And, but I mean, when you go from doing nothing at 350 pounds to doing anything, I think, you know, you're going to see some kind of weight loss. And then after that, after 90 days, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do it again. Like, I do want to stick with this. I don't know if I could want to do it again right now. You know, I can do P90X again at some other point when I'm a little more better in shape. So I went and got P90X 3, and only because it was 30 minutes. Like, I've been doing an hour 40, like 30 minutes to me sounded great, right? But I feel kind of like, I don't know, lied to maybe, right? Because that 30 minutes, it's a pretty packed 30 minutes. Like, if you minus the warm up in P90X, and you take out the dead air, and then take out Tony's bad jokes and him flexing and stuff, and you compress it down, right? That's the workout in 30 minutes. And so I was like, man, like, this is not the same. Like, I'm thinking like it's gonna be like long in between stuff. No, it was like bam, 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 bam. You know, and there was a lot more moving around, jumping around stuff, right? Like, there's CVX, and then there's the Warrior, and then there's what was the other one? And the MMX one, I love that. But again, you know, it got my heart rate going. So those 30-minute workouts are like 40, 45. I got better over time, but I did the P90X 3 back to back 4 times, right? And so in that first 12 months since I started with the P90X, that first 12 months I lost 100 pounds in that first year. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's all just do P90X for a year and you're going to lose 100 pounds. No, right? So, I mean, I had to change two major things with that. One was up here, right? Like my mindset, hold on to my why I started in the first place, right? Be serious about my fitness. And the other thing was my mindset as it relates to food, right? You know, my big three things were bread, potatoes, and rice in that order. Like I could pound away a loaf of French bread, like our grocery store would have like freshly baked French bread at 4 o'clock, right? Guaranteed fresh. And they're huge, right? And it's like $1.50. Like it's the best thing, you know, of course on pasta night, right? I'd buy two. And before I got home, I would have finished a whole loaf by myself at 350 pounds. You know, moderation was not a word in my vocabulary, right? I mean, but you know, so I knew my triggers. It was never like sweets or chocolate, or some of you might be ice cream or who knows what it is, right? It was never sweets or anything like that for me, but it was bread, potatoes, and rice. So I cut those out altogether. Like I just knew I couldn't do it, at least not right, you know, at least not then, right? I mean, I had to really be focused and strong about it. I started counting calories when we started hiking. So right when we started hiking, I counted calories for those first 2 weeks. And I said, let me just, you know, went to my fitness pal, not knowing what I'm doing whatsoever. But let me try to, you know, assign some calories to what I'm eating to kind of understand where I'm starting from. So I have a good baseline. And so I was assigning calories. I don't know what 4 ounces of chicken looks like. I don't know, like 200, whatever the calories were. I assigned calories to everything I ate, whether I was high on some and low on some, whatever it was my baseline, and that's where I still had my reference point from. I was doing 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day, right? And you know, when you eat that much and you don't work out, that's how you count 350 pounds over years, right? So I cut it by 25%, went down to 3,000 calories. Didn't know if that was even a good number, but it sounded good. You know, so that was in that 12 months, right? To kind of like, you know, kind of help jumpstart this thing. Because I saw the results. I got encouraged by them. I didn't want to self-sabotage like I used to before, right? Where I would just, like when I was 350 pounds, I would just finish dinner. And then like an hour later, I'd be watching TV and I'd power through a bag of Costco Doritos, like the huge bag. I'd just be sitting there watching TV and just eating. Right? I'm not hungry. I just ate, you know. You know, what I learned that it was bored. I was bored eating, you know. So I drink more water. I drink 100 ounces of water a day. If I ever feel like I'm bored or if my stomach like it's trying to trick me like I'm maybe hungry, I'll drink like 20 ounces of water, you know. So I get in 100 ounces, but that's, you know, if you're not close to 50, I would probably suggest you get close to 50. But there's a lot of good things about drinking that much water. But anyways, I had good results. I had to go back to the garage and start grabbing the clothes that I bagged up and put in there, right? I had to go back and go find some that would fit me as I was getting down to that 100 pounds. So after I finished that, I went on T25 because it was 25 minutes. And then I did a hybrid P90X, T25, right? So now I have an hour workout, right? So now that's not just a half hour. Now it's an hour. And then I started with, you know, the full-blown Insanity and then the P90X2 and then Insanity Max 30, the hardcore, 22-minute hardcore, right? So the common theme you can see I have is Tony Horton and Sean T, right? Those are my two favorite instructors. I understand everybody doesn't resonate with those two, right? Or one or the other or both. That's what I love about Beachbody is that there's so many different coaches, so many different programs that you're bound to find one or more that you are just kind of migrate towards, right? I migrate towards those two. And I do credit them for helping save my life. You know, I had to do the workouts, but I held on to them. You know, you still got to do the workouts, right? Just because you put disc in or you stream it doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know, I give 100% every day. I've never missed a workout in 4 years. I've learned that if it's important enough, we schedule stuff in our lives that's important, right? If something's that important, we have it written down somewhere, right? An event, something going on, whatever it is. Why would our fitness not be any different, right? So I block out 2 hours a day for my Beachbody workouts. And I do about 2 hours. So today, for example, this week, I'm doing Insanity Max 30. I'm finishing up. Next week's my last week for that round, but I do Insanity Max 30. The Sean T week. So today was abs day. So I did the abs workout today. And then I did core to force. Now you're going to say, now core to force is not Sean T or Tony Horton, right? And so that's the great thing I like about the Beachbody On Demand, right? If I added up all the money of all the programs I just told you I bought, I could probably stream on demand for like 10 or 15 years, right? Because if they didn't, let's say there was no Beachbody On Demand, And I'd had plenty of friends, men and women, both tell me how great quarter force is. And I'm like, yeah, you know, because I like the MMX from P90X3. I really did. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool. But I don't know those instructors. Do I want to spend the money on that? I don't know. Like, when's the next Sean T or Tony Horton program coming out? Because I'll probably buy that one because I like them. So quarter force is one that I would not have purchased, and I would have missed out on the gym. For any of those who've done quarter force, is great. Right? I started just this past Monday, and so today was my fourth day of quarter force. But I love it, and I wouldn't have bought it, but I can stream it on Beachbody On Demand for free, right? So that's why I love it. Plus the convenience of it, right? Like if you're traveling on vacation, guess what? No excuse. You can do it. You can do the workout in your hotel room. You can do it at the park. You can take it to the gym in the hotel room and use the weights there to do your workouts if they have weights. I mean, you know, that's why I love the convenience of it, but also I get to try out different stuff that I wouldn't have purchased before if it would Beachbody On Demand. But so in that first year, it was 100 pounds. And then continuing on, right, with just being more active, still hiking now, right? So we're now, you know, the same thing that we were hiking and we were getting further and further, and it would take us, you know, 45 minutes to get to the mile marker, and then it would take us 35 minutes. Then, you know, I can now run up to the 2 mile, to the top in 25 minutes, you know, but that's only because, you know, I mean, I just kept being persistent at it and gotten better and better shape, you know, and pushed myself farther. How easy would it have been to me just to keep running to the mile and say, I did the mile this fast, I did this fast, you know. It's like, let me go mile and a half next time and do that for a bit and then keep pushing it, you know. And so that story I tell you about going to 2 miles, that's just part of it. So now I can go to that 2 miles, and what I told you, it branches out to other parts. I now actually go run out, and I do like 13 mile loop. So I'll go out 6.5, 7 miles and turn around and come back. And that'll be a 3-hour morning, like on a beautiful Saturday morning here in LA. You know, at 7 in the morning, you know, I'm done about 10, you know, and I'm carrying so much water on me. I've got 4 on my belt, and I've got one thing in each, you know, in hand, and I've got my phone, you know, on here with my Bluetooth, you know, radio, listening to Pandora. And sometimes I'll see hikers, sometimes there's mountain bikers on there. They're going up or they're coming flying down and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll see a tarantula or a rattlesnake or something like that. But I mean, but I'm just out there in God's country just doing it, you know, because I've gotten down to the weight. So 12 months, 100 miles. And then in the last 8 months, so basically in the 20 months, I lost over 180 pounds. And that's the one thing that surprised me, is that it only took 20 months. When I started on this fitness journey, I had a realistic expectation of what to expect, right? Like, I didn't think, hey, you know what? It didn't take me a year to get up 350 pounds. Why would I think it would take me a quick amount of time to lose it? Like, I was in it for 4, 5, 6 years is what I thought it would take me to get down to maybe 220 or 230. Like, I figured I could get down. I'll still be overweight, but I'll be like much healthier, was my thought. Like, that was my goal. And I thought it would take me that many years. Never did I think I was going to be able to do it in under 2 years, right? And so, you know, well, I didn't do that at thinking I had to lose over 180 pounds, right? Because it's so daunting, you know, like there's no way, like if I tried to say, yeah, I'm losing 180 pounds, that's my goal. Like, no way. Like, so my first like milestone was like, hey, let me just get to 299 so I can say I'm 2 something, not 3 something. You know, and I did that. And then let me get down to 275, then 250. And then when I got to be about 250, is when I said, wow, I'm within striking distance of the 220 or 230 I thought I was going to take me 4 or 5 years to get. Like, I'm right there, you know? So I pushed it down to 199, right? I changed my goal. I pushed it out farther. So let me get to 199 so I can say I'm 1 something, not 2 something, and get out of that 200 club forever. That's not a club you want to be in, or 300 club. You don't want to be in 300 club for sure. But then when I got down to 220, not too long after, you know, I hit 250, is when I really thought, you know, I could get down. I think I get down my high school weight. Like, I think I can get down to 170, and that was my goal then. Like, I'm gonna go as hard as I can to get down to 170, and that's what I did. I actually got down to about 167, and only because I just, like, my body just kept going for like 2 weeks later. Like, I kind of backed off a little bit, but like, I mean, I was going so hard, so fast, and I ended up getting into 167. Like, I got to stop because this is not what I wanted to do, you know. So I kind of like leveled off and kind of leveled back some, but that's what really surprised me, that it was 20 months, right? And so my story But the beach body is, yeah, I lost almost 200 pounds in under 2 years, right? But the second part of my story that, you know, I hope is inspiring for some people is that I've now kept the weight off for over 2 years. So I've kept the weight off longer than it took me to lose it, right? And so here I am at 4 years later. And so I have to believe that contributed to me being a Beachbody, finalist, right? I mean, I didn't even submit my story until a year after I lost it. I submitted just last year, and I won April of last year. And I didn't know that's when Beachbody starts that's their year. It's like April to April. I didn't know, or April to March, rather, right? March into their Beachbody year. Because then in April, they circled back around to me, I assumed everybody, and said, hey, it's time for the grand prize kind of, round. Send us some new pictures, And I'm sure that's when they get pictures or they don't get pictures because maybe people gain weight back or don't look quite the same that they did when they first, submitted, that kind of thing. And I submitted the 3 pictures they wanted to submit, and I got a phone call from them. They're like, yeah, we like your story, I mean, so I had to believe it's that, right? I mean, and so, it took me a whole year to submit it only because I don't know. I used to be embarrassed talking about my story. But my family, my friends, and Beachbody coach, it's like, you got to get your story out. Like, forget the competition, right? Like, just talk to people because we're all in a different part of our fitness journey. Some of us have a harder time at it than others, right? And so if my story can just inspire somebody to either start their journey or continue on it or don't quit, then I think I would have succeeded. And that's why I'm talking about it. It's because I hope that I've shown that you can lose it with Beachbody programs, with good nutrition. I do use a Shakeology, and some, it's funny. Like, people say, did you use Shakeology? Was a big part of it? And the first 100 pounds, not so much, right? Because I really didn't know what I was doing. But then once I got really dialed into it, yeah, Shakeology definitely is part of it. And some days, so the days I mentioned that I run 12 or 13 mile trail runs, take me 3 hours, right? I'm still doing my Beachbody workout. I'll have 2 shakes in that day. Like, I need to get my calories in because I'm burning a ton, so, and I don't starve myself. So not only do I not miss workout, I don't miss a meal or I don't skimp out on my calories, right? And I think a lot of us fall into that where, hey, if I take in less calories, if I skip lunch every day, right? Like, if I take in less calories, I'm gonna lose weight faster, right? It makes sense. And that's not the case, right? And I did learn that during this journey as well too. I learned a lot about my fitness and just fitness in general. But if you do it long enough, you starve your body long enough, it's going to think you're starving, and it will not let go of any fat. And so that's when people plateau, and then people don't lose weight. People sometimes gain weight, even though they're eating small food and they're starving and they're working out, but they're actually gaining weight, because their body's not letting go of anything. And so that is a thing. So I would say if anybody's listening who's think they plateaued out or, either not losing weight, or gaining some incremental, I would say, look at your food. You might be eating too much. That's possible. Sure. Look at it, take a hard, honest look at it. And then, or you might not be taking in enough calories, and you got to take an honest look at that as well too, and take that leap of faith. Right. I never changed my goal. I never made my goal easier. Right. And that'd be another thing I would say is, whatever goal you set, whatever reason you started on your fitness journey, maybe you wanted to, you needed or wanted to lose, 10, 20, 30 pounds. Maybe you want to just be healthier. Maybe you want to look better in the bikini or the swimsuit for the summer, whatever the reason is. Don't change your goal because you're not getting there fast enough in this on-demand society that we're in, right? We want instant results. If it doesn't happen, then it must not be working. Then we get frustrated and try to go on to the next thing that promises us quick results, right? And from a fitness perspective, it's not quick, right? Even my 20 months, 20 months still is almost 2 years, but it is quick, I guess, in kind of a fitness weight loss journey. It is fast, right? But don't change your goals, right? Don't make them easier just because you're not getting there fast enough, right? You may have to change how you get to your goals. Be prepared to change the path. Excuse me, but don't change the goals, right? So again, what I mean by the path is you might need to take a look at your food and tweak that. If you're doing 30 minutes a day and maybe you do an hour, maybe you do that same workout twice. maybe look at another Beachbody workout and do that. It's okay to do more than 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes might take you a little longer to get there, right? And you got to be, you have to be prepared for that as well too, right? But just be prepared to change how you get to your goal, but don't change the goal. So I'll pause there, I guess. How's that for any questions or anything?
That is so good. We have a dog here that's like wanting to play, and we're like, shh, shh, shh. That is absolutely amazing. And I think out of everything you said, the thing that sticks to me right now before we open up for questions is that you, that I'm pausing so that you guys can come up with some fabulous questions, right? Giving it stalling. But what you said about you never made it easier, because it's easy to say, oh, I got to my goal weight, and then it gets easier, and then all of a sudden you see that scale start picking back up again, a couple more pounds coming in.
Like if I stopped at 250 pounds, right, after I lost the first 100, that's a great story. I lost 100 pounds. I'm still overweight, but I could have stopped there and said, I'm good. I lost 100 pounds, man. That's probably about all I can do, right? I mean, and the other thing is I didn't talk about is my journey, right, in my faith, right? I mean, I read the Bible every single day, during that period, get me through it. I mean, that's when I was reading like the Bible in a year, right? So I read the Bible in a year, and then the next year I would read the Bible in chronological order, right? So actually, it was a little bit different, right? And so I'd try different things, and then I would try, just different reading plans, right? And so, I would do that, like with my Kindle as we would hike or walk, or then we started just walking up the street and stuff like that. Like a 30-minute walk is good, right? So maybe, that could be something different. That if you're not doing that today, you're doing your Beachbody workout, maybe just go for a walk for 20 minutes, something like that. Or before I went to bed, last thing I read was the Bible, just to, because I mean, it was so hard, and I was praying not to lose the weight, but not to quit, It's like, just give me the strength, like, because some mornings I would get up when I started doing the 2 workouts, when I started doing the hybrid, like P90X and the 3 and the T25, like sometimes I do it back to back, but then sometimes I would do one in the morning before work and then one in the evening after work. And I'd be up early in the morning, and then I started to jog. When I got down to about 250, right, I was at a weight where I could jog then, right? I jog walk, I jog and then I walk. And then I would start jogging and not stop. And then now I guess I'm a runner, right? So now I run 25 to 35 miles a week. Whether it's